Houston Dynamo, who started the season only being able to score on penalty kicks. Now, those are their only goals for like fucking like almost double-digit games, right? They really couldn't get it going offensively. Acha, was trying to kind of, do everything as the playmaker over there. And now look at them, bro. Now look at them. As a Dallas fan, I'll give them their shout. Carrasquilla, Bassi, Baird, all these guys look like they're on this tear that you don't want to see in playoffs.
This is the formula that wins you MLS Cup. I'm not saying they will, but I'm just saying this is the formula.
Is this Houston team better than what we saw from Austin last season?
I mean, arguably, yes. I mean, because, they have a championship pedigree now.
Let me ask you this. Can this Houston team beat LAFC?
Yes.
Are right around the corner, boys, from playoffs. Right around the corner. Some teams have already been mathematically eliminated. There are at least a few different fringe teams in both conferences. We'll talk about that today. And more than a few, especially in the East, who have locked this thing down, locked down their spot. We're really close to playoffs starting. Decision day is what? It's the 8th today, less than 2 weeks away. So we're really, really close to getting to the most exciting part of the 2023 MLS season. And today we're going to try and predict how we think playoffs are going to go. And just to mix it up from how we've typically done some of these shows in the past, we're going to get a tier list going. Okay, we're going to break it down round by round, club by club. We're going to try and predict where every single one of these teams will fall and hopefully who the 2 MLS Cup finalists are really going to be. All right, so I'll share my screen and we're going to go ahead and kick this thing off. All right, so to break it down for everybody who's watching from top to bottom, MLS Cup, conference finals, right? Basically every round. I don't have to really spell it out for you guys. Every single round of the MLS playoff format is located on this tier list. I've already slotted in. It's a shame Ednon's not here for this one. I've already slotted in the 6 clubs, 3 from each conference, who are mathematically eliminated. Okay, what we're going to do today, there will be a few others that we feel will join them. We'll add them to that kind of part of the tier list while also slotting in the clubs that we feel are going to make a run. Okay, so let's not waste any more time. Let's kick it off with Charlotte. Charlotte coming off of that, was a 2-0 win against Chicago Fire, who are hopefully trying to, make their way into playoffs this season. We'll see how that all goes, right? They're in 11th place right now. But look, Charlotte, let's talk about them first. Charlotte right now kind of on that same bubble with NYCFC, Chicago, the New York Red Bulls. They're all fighting for those wild card spots. DC's already been eliminated. Montreal's just right there above them. I don't know, man. I don't know what to think about Charlotte, especially after that 2-0 win against the Fire, guys. I mean, John, you're the Fire fan here. You saw how they played. Was it more – I mean, do you think – let's just answer this question. Do we think Charlotte's a playoff team?
No.
At all?
No.
They beat y'all 2-0, but you think –
I don't. But I think that had more to do with the Fire rather than it had to do with Charlotte, if that makes sense.
So they're going to be out. We all feel they're going to be out?
I legitimately don't think that they'll be – who do they play last?
Yeah,
they play Miami.
They play
Columbus.
They play they play Miami twice. So it's whether you think that Miami's going to risk Messi at these last couple of games, because if they don't, then they'll make it. If they do, then they probably won't. It just depends on what Miami does.
I think Miami's gonna try to, because now they can do whatever they want these last 2 games. I think they'll play Messi. Sell tickets. Get that last little bit of merch by the end of the season, and then they can play like relax. Like, who gives a shit? And I think that's kind of a scary version of Inter Miami. Like, the pressure's totally off. And they're just going to play their bet. That's just how I view it. That's how I think it might go down. And either way, like, I just don't even think Charlotte's better than even Messi-less Inter Miami. Like, if still Busquets and stuff still plays, I still think they're better than them.
Yeah, they're just so hit or miss both at home and on the road. Like, their record is so staggered all over the place. 5-3-8 at home, 4-8-4 on the road. Like, there's just not a lot of encouragement. Like, even if they do make it, they're definitely not going past wild card. Right, so
no.
But the thing is, too, like, I best case scenario for Charlotte is I see 1 win, 1 loss. But they realistically kind of need to go like 1 win. Like, obviously 2 wins would be ideal, but like a win and a draw would be the most optimal for them at the bare minimum. So I just don't see it. So
also, Tata's not going to allow that to happen either.
Yeah,
at Inter Miami, he's a much better coach than Charlotte's coach, and it's just that's just not going to happen. I think
the game in hand just scares me, though. Don't you feel like teams who have a game in hand at this point of the season, they kind of have leverage. I don't know. I just feel like
Well, this
If they
fixture
can
is
do
kind of
anything
like
about it, though.
but this
That's the
game
thing.
kind of
Charlotte
is like a
is not that type
playoff
of
game
game.
for Charlotte, to be honest, because you're playing home and away at Inter Miami. It's a little bit of a playoff game for them.
what are you gonna say, AJ?
Yeah, I mean, I think they just don't have the facilities to make that happen, to win 2 games in a row. Like, that's just not the team that they've been. I mean, maybe they have kind of shown some of that this season, but I mean, lately, what? I mean, it's what? Yeah, I mean, Chicago, they won it. Okay, they won against Toronto. It's like bottom dweller teams. It's like
Yeah.
Inter Miami is not technically really a bottom dwelling team. They're just, yeah.
So we think so right now the consensus seems to be that they're going to be eliminated from playoff contention at some point very soon. So we're basically saying right now the Red Bulls, hell, even Montreal, the Fire, NYCFC, they're all ahead of this version of Charlotte.
The only
I'd say
reason
so.
I would tip the Fire to be over them is because for whatever reason they tend to play better when there's more pressure. And I don't know what happened last night, but like it doesn't make sense to me because if you win that game, you lock it up.
Yeah.
Like but you
No
know,
clutch factor, bro. No clutch factor.
But
We'll talk
it
about
could be, it could also be fatigue because we did play midweek, you know. But a lot of other clubs played midweek too. So like, I can't put a lot of stock into that. I just can't. I just think that they're better off when it comes to, you know, and maybe they come out in the playoffs and they perform because they haven't been in the playoffs in a while. But I just don't see that from Charlotte either.
I don't think they've ever been in the playoffs.
No,
It's been what,
no.
7 years, 8 years?
Wait, what?
Almost. Yeah, it's been a while.
No, not
Was
Charlotte.
the last time they went to playoffs was when Basti was there.
Oh,
That's
you're
the
talking
last
about the
time.
Fire.
Yeah,
oh my
the Fire,
god.
yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah, sorry. I was like
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Because he's saying
brand new
nay.
Charlotte's
team.
never been there.
Right.
Yeah, no, Charlotte's never
Yeah.
been there.
No, I will talk about the Fire's playoff. I mean, yeah, it's been a hell of
Oh,
not
I
a
was so
drought per
confused.
se, but it's like you know, 8 years is quite some time. But for Charlotte, look, they've never really been since the expansion team's been announced. They've never really been like a strong playoff contender. I thought this year they had maybe an outside shot, but it's too much volatility. It's too much back and forth. Like I just don't know how to predict these last 2 games. So for now, let's keep them here. We'll talk about the Fire here in a second. Maybe it'll justify some of the placement, but I think that they're probably ahead. They have to be ahead of DC. DC's literally already out, but let's keep them here. Let's keep them here. They're probably going to get eliminated mathematically within the next game, I would assume. So let's move on to the Fire. John, the Fire, y'all could have locked it up already. Could have been a done deal, and at a minimum in the wild card playoff. And now you guys need some help going into the final match of the season. You guys have, who was it again?
NYCFC.
NYCFC.
That's
Also
gonna be a
battling
good
for that
game.
last playoff spot. That's going to be a hell of a game.
Because no matter what, I think either if we draw, we go through. If everyone else loses and we draw, we go through.
Yeah.
But
Everyone else loses.
we can't bank.
Let's watch all the games.
You can't bank on that though. Like,
Decision
that's the
day
problem. Yeah.
is looming. Yeah. So look, I mean, Chicago's 2 points ahead, right? I mean, NYCFC needs a prayer and something else, right? Who's at home for that match?
They are. We just had our last home game last night.
They're significantly better at home. They've won 1 game on the road this season. They're significantly better at home. The
Baseball,
Fire
but-
are also like 4-9-3 on the road. So like, you know, maybe there's an outside chance for NYCFC. But either way, I mean, with how much is going in their favor, can we say that the Fire locked down that last spot and play Montreal in the wild card round?
Yeah,
I would say
think
no.
so.
I would say no.
Why
would say no.
I would
You're
say
the
no.
Fire fan. Why would you say no?
Do you want me to be realistic or do you want me to lie?
I mean, bro, I mean, support your team a little bit. I mean, it's like shouting on with the whole Sounders bashing.
What?
like to me, it's just I just don't have any belief in this team. Like, because how do you go out and perform?
I mean,
against
a lot
Messi?
has
Like,
to
against,
go wrong.
Against Inter, I was gonna call Messi FC, right? How do you go against Messi FC? Perform like you've never performed all season. Dunked on him, scored 4 goals. Could have been 5 and 6, to be honest. The way that
Maybe
game was
because you
going.
actually sold out, like, you know, actually put butts in the seats. Maybe, I don't know. That could have helped.
Could have helped, but at the end of the day, like, this team still needs to go out and perform like that. Like, if you have a performance like that, that means that you have it in you to do that. Then I don't know what's going on. Like, you can't pinpoint the manager because we got rid of Ezra. Like, it's not a managerial like situation. The guy's back Klopas like all the way, but and I just feel like it's really weird. We got rid of Klopas early in the season. We got rid of Ezra early in the season. Brought in promoted Klopas. And then they started winning. That was when they went on that winning stretch
I remember that.
during the summer. And then all of a sudden we get back from Leagues Cup, drop a couple games here, kind of sort of pick it up. It's just really inconsistent. So I think because of that inconsistency, that's the reason why we haven't been able to lock anything up. I think that's going to end up hurting us here anyway. And I feel like the teams above us are better than us, so I don't feel like we will. But
All right, that's the spot. Let's move on.
I
I don't
actually
think so.
You don't think so? Why not, AJ?
Nah. I mean, I think New York Red Bulls, they're just a better squad.
They have a much better
I
goal
think.
differential.
Exactly.
The Red Bulls
And
the Fire.
they actually have a system that they play, and they're in a playoff match. I mean, that's really tough. So I mean, I think that's they're that type of team. I think that can sneak in, and yeah.
So
I don't
you're
think
basically
Chicago
saying we're basically saying Chicago's going to either draw or lose. Well, probably might lose to NYCFC and kind of settle this whole thing for us.
NYCFC's been actually pretty good when
Mhm.
shit has not really mattered for them, funnily enough.
Mhm.
I think it's a draw. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And
doesn't
look,
move the
and if they
needle.
do draw, right? If let's say the Red Bulls win outright,
if anyone wins above us, we're done.
if Charlotte wins, if one of those, it sucks to need that help going into the decision day, but it kind of is what it is. I don't think it's a steep hill to climb. I wouldn't be surprised if the Fire make it through, but I think
They
the
could sneak in,
consensus is
but
they could sneak in. The consensus is probably at least here for now, and we can always move things around. All right, so.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. Cincinnati.
Mhm.
I mean, already locked things up. Supporters Shield winners. I think at the end of the day, it's just a matter of how much do you believe in relatively new clubs, expansion clubs, making
Conference
these
final.
deep ass runs into the playoffs.
Conference
Yeah,
final.
I agree. It's a conference final. It's
They're a
final.
really, really good team.
I don't know.
Right,
I don't know, man. I could see them sneaking into MLS Cup.
Yeah, I don't think they win. I know LAFC
They
broke
might.
the curse last year, but I believe in that. I still believe in the Supporters Shield curse.
But just at home, you don't think that places a fortress? Like they're 7-3-7 on the road, but 13 wins at home. Like that. That's I don't know, man. I feel like it's hard to walk in there and try and get any kind of a result.
I think it's a little bit on that kind of bye week as well. I mean, they haven't really had much to play for now, and I think it's against us as well. Like that's almost a dead rubber too. So it's just, I mean, like we have more to play for than they do. So it's really, it's going to be. I don't know. I don't think they have the momentum going into the playoffs to really do anything substantial. Probably.
Bro, at 33 matches, Cincinnati has 5 L's. I don't know. I think it's just
that's insane. But the thing is,
very,
the playoffs is a different beast, Like
Exactly.
we've seen plenty of teams have historical runs. They don't win MLS Cup.
Right.
It's just a different beast. I think Cincy, they have at least one playoff win under their belt. I think if they make it to a conference final, I think that's a huge W for their season. That's good progression for this club.
What's different? What would be different this season for Cincy than last season with LAFC? Because in my opinion, I think there's some of that momentum going into this playoff run for them. They're just as good as LAFC was last season, in my opinion. I don't know. To me, I don't see too many differences.
I don't think they have that experience. I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, pretty much what AJ just said. I think because also LAFC have made like a CCL final, so they kind of have that taste of what it's like to lose in a final. So they kind of have experience. Basically, just sum it up, experience.
Okay. Well, I don't know, man. I personally, of all these teams, I would be inclined to put them up here. They just look lethal to me when I watch them play. But maybe Supporters Shield curse or anything else kind of keeps them here. For now, I'm fine with this. But as we start moving some of these top teams into that conversation, actually there needs to be a stronger argument than experience. It's like, I don't know, with how quickly this league has grown, there's going to be a lot of teams that don't really fall into that experience criteria that could still just make a deep run. So we'll continue to talk about it. And look, this next team, someone that you guys, I know Xiaoyan has hyped them up quite a bit. Last time we did some predictions, you saw them, especially with the signings they made during the summer, you saw them challenging for MLS Cup, the Columbus Crew. Do you still think that they're MLS Cup?
MLS Cup, yep.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
FC Dallas just tied them 2 weeks ago, and that was like a busted up version of Dallas. So like, why? And Columbus has drawn a couple other other
Yeah,
teams
they drew with us last night, but I think it was this, man. Like we got lucky. I mean, we we absolutely like that's just what we do. Like we get last minute, draws and winners all the time. But I think come playoff time, they're that like talk about experience. They're an experienced team. Julian Gressel, Jonathan Nagby as well, of course, won MLS Cup with us. And yeah, I mean, I haven't seen too many teams. If really, I can't even count on like my hand how many teams like controlled proceedings at the Benz like they did last night.
Yeah.
And it's scary. It was like our midfield was completely out of the game. Like our forwards like nullified, our width nullified. Like all our new signings just look like also rans. Like it was, Columbus Crew, I think, are the real deal.
Do you think against a great defensive team, possibly on the road, right? So let's say they come up against, since he's a pretty good defensive team too, but Philly is also a good defensive team. I mean, do you not think that like the luck that some of these lower teams have gotten against Columbus Crew could work against them in the playoffs? Like all it takes is for Philly to write it out into PKs or for Cincy to do the same thing at home, right? Where's going to be, some of that crowd factor involved in extra time, in the penalty kick shootout. I mean, I don't know. I want to switch these two so bad.
But listen, I mean, they're both Ohio teams, so it's like who really cares? But but the people that live in Ohio care, yes. But I think it's this like the margins are so small in MLS, so yes, any team can get got. And the same could be said for FC Cincy in that sense of like any sort of margins, it could swing that way where they get knocked out. So it's just
I think experience plays a part of it. I know none of these players were part of the Columbus teams that made runs in MLS Cups in 2015, making it to the final, 2016, et cetera. But I think those things help. Just knowing that this club has been to MLS Cup finals, have made underdog story deep runs in MLS Cup playoff campaigns. I think that plays a big part in it. And I don't know, man. I still believe in that MLS Supporter Shield curse. I can never put a Supporter Shield winner to win a. Obviously Sounders ruined that for me.
Eventually, someone's gonna break that curse.
Well, someone did break the curse, but like I still don't. Okay, granted, they almost didn't break the curse if Philadelphia didn't pull a Philadelphia, but
But still, and that's what I'm saying, right? Is that like there's just to me there are some pretty stable comparisons between Cincinnati and LAFC. So. And it can be the experience of the players, right? But I don't know if experience abroad necessarily translates well to a playoff format in MLS. So, like, I get the experience part of it, right? But like you guys already said, this is a brand new season we're walking into, and the consistency that a Supporters Shield winner offers in this postseason, I don't know.
That's actually a really good point because to be fair, Jose, I mean. I think it's something that we're all used to is the OG, like just the previous MLS playoff formats, be it obviously they're all slightly different. But yeah, this one's going to be completely different. So you could be right, especially in like best of three series.
Those best of three formats are going to be wild to watch.
Yeah, but the thing is, since he doesn't have that.
Yeah. I mean, in that best of three, right? Like, it'll be two basically at home for Cincy and then one on the road. Is that how that'll work, like baseball style?
Well, Cincy, I don't think has a best of three game, do they?
No. Well, I'm using them as an example hypothetically, right?
Yes,
but for the higher seed, it will be two at home and one on the road. Okay.
And then if the game ends in a tie, it automatically goes to a PK shootout to determine the winner.
Dude, this new format for the MLS playoffs is going to be wild to watch.
It's just chaos.
Yeah, it's going to feel kind of like Leagues Cup. I don't know if like that much, kind of built-in chaos, but I think it's going to be just anybody's guess. But we'll see. Look. I think for right now, again, this is fine. I agree with you guys in the Columbus front with their talent. Their talent is massive. I'm also just looking at like form going into playoffs, and it's kind of been just like maybe they're saving something for the postseason, maybe they're not. I don't really know. But Atlanta got that draw. Dallas has gotten the draw. There's I think one more team in there who's stolen a point from Columbus recently, and they're finishing in fourth, right? That they're going to finish behind Orlando, Philadelphia, and Cincinnati. So we'll see how it all pans out. Yeah. All right. Red Bulls, another team in the East in contention for that fringe last wild card spot. And we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, right? We think they're going to probably finish ahead. Would you say this is the team then, right? Like it's going to be them in Montreal as like the wild cards?
Yep.
It's probably, I mean, they have a tough assignment in Nashville, but those two, our teams are very similar. So it's I think it's going to be a draw, and it won't change the table too much, except for them sneaking in. So or them being in pole position, probably.
This is like
So-
Red Bulls of like the past like 4 to 7 years. Like they just play the wild
Yeah.
card game, get in, get out. You know, you might think they might be a sleeper team. They're never really a sleeper team, and this is how it goes, man. It's just life.
Yeah, story of New York Red Bull fans. You know what's crazy though is they have a better goal differential than most of the teams are competing with in this fringe spot, especially Montreal. How the hell is Montreal 8th with a negative 15 goal differential?
Chouanier.
Yeah, that shit makes zero sense. They're so bad
Yep.
defensively. It's fucking crazy.
Mhm.
But anyway, dude, they've
'Cause they speak
conceded
French.
50 goals. Holy shit. All right. Well, look, at the end of the day, I kind of agree with you guys. I think they don't go any further than here because if they were to play, I mean, who do you take between the Red Bulls and the Impact in a 1-game playoff?
Impact.
Yeah,
If it's in Montreal, I take Impact.
yeah, it's probably Impact, but it's a tight one. I think
It's a really
probably like a
tight one.
1-0 win.
Nah. Dude's in Red Bull's identity.
Or like,
Dude, guys.
It would be Montreal at home, right? And they do have a
Yeah.
better home record. I mean,
Mhm.
Dude, that Big Bell, the French, oui. Like, dude, you just can't beat that.
okay, all right.
I don't
right,
see the
that's fair.
logic, but okay.
That's fair. We'll keep Red Bulls here. I'm fine with that. I'm not gonna argue hard for the Red Bulls here.
Yeah.
All right, my boys, FC Dallas. We got 2 games left. We have that game in hand from Weather Delay FC on Wednesday. Our game against the Rapids got rained out by potentially a tornado that ripped through Frisco. Really quick story about that. I saw on Twitter the O from the Toyota Stadium fell off from the winds that came through and hit a fan like in the back. And he was like,
Wow.
he was showing all the pictures and shit. I was like, dude, I wonder if he got any money from that. It's kind of crazy.
Right, seriously.
Yeah, seriously. But look, we have the last 2 teams in the West. I feel really good about finishing at minimum wild card, right? We have Galaxy and Rapids to close out the season. I feel that we could jump to like 7th though, if we're being honest, 7th or maybe even 6th, depending on how Portland finishes up. I don't think we jump Salt Lake,
Conference
but
semifinals for FC Dallas.
based on what logic? Because they've drawn a lot this season. I will say this: Dallas has how many draws? 12 fucking draws this season. Only one has
When
more is San Jose.
games really matter in the deep nights in Texas, we've seen some historic playoff matches for FC Dallas, and I think they're making a conference semifinals. You never want to be like the top 1 to 2 teams in going into the playoffs. You want to be one of those mid-table teams. You want to be a midi. You want to be a Chelsea in the playoffs. You want to be mid because that's how you win MLS Cups.
No one
And
wants to
I
be
agree-
Chelsea right now. Nobody wants to be
Are you
Chelsea.
saying they need to be a half chub? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, they need
Okay, all right.
precisely.
I
Got
like
you.
that.
No, I don't think. Yeah, that's a little too high. I think. I mean, it has to depend on who they play, as well as where they
They beat whoever they play in the first.
You know what's
round.
crazy though? Everybody
Really?
ahead of us in the standings, we've beaten at least once this
Yep.
season. At least once. So St. Louis, LAFC, Seattle's only one. We tied them both times. But Houston, we've beaten once. Vancouver, Salt Lake, Portland, San Jose. That's another one. San Jose and Seattle, the only ones that we've drawn both times.
But so you didn't even lose. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even lose. Right. That's a thing. Like we don't. It's probably if there's a skill here that FC Dallas has, it's our ability to not lose because we're not a very high scoring team, but we don't concede a ton either. So it's like to me, it's so hard to predict where this team ends up. But I kind of agree with Xiaoyan in the sense that I feel like Dallas finishes that spot conference semifinals every year. Last year, it's where we finished. We lost to Austin FC in the second round, in the second round before they lost to LAFC in the conference final. So. I don't know. It's probably just the status quo.
It's
for
football
Dallas.
heritage.
I don't know. To me, that's a very mid football heritage. But I'll, it is what it is. I mean, I think if we were, devil's advocate, let's say we were to finish in the wild card and had to play San Jose, I think we would win. I think at that point in round 1, we get
You beat whoever you play in round 1, bro. Don't worry. This has got my.
I think if
stamp
we
of
do,
approval.
it's like how we beat Minnesota last year, where it's like we
Yep.
ride it out in extra time and playoff and penalty
That's
kicks.
fine.
Like,
It is what it is. You got to
It is
do
what
what you
it
got to
is.
do.
That's a skill. I think some teams can just ride those coattails, right? So yeah. I mean, I don't think we'll score a ton more in playoffs than we did in regular season, but I'm not sure we'll have to either. So
You just gotta hope Jesus Pereira shows up. Like, 'cause
Yeah.
that's
Oh, boys, here's a crazy stat. I saw of all the games that we've played, we've never lost a game where he has scored, Ferreira. We've also never won a game this season where he hasn't. So it's just like, and there's not any other like player team comparison like that. That's, where almost all of our offense is contingent upon one player in terms of goals. So if he doesn't score in playoffs, I don't know if we're writing this thing out to PK shootouts or not, but that stat just sticks out to me like a sore thumb. So look, I think we can keep Dallas here. I'm not mad at it, and I agree. I don't see us going any higher than that.
Of course, you wouldn't be mad.
Of course, you wouldn't be mad at
I
that.
know, right? But
Well, there's nothing to be. I mean, look, what is there to be excited about? That's where we finish every season.
Yeah.
Every season we finish there.
All right, I guess playing that reverse Uno card on us, that's fair.
Go look at the track record. It's like every year we finish there. So it's
no,
like,
that's what I'm saying. Like I agree. It's just funny how you got mad about it. Like this is where we finish every year, and I'm sick of it.
It is. Well, I mean, look, you guys are saying like, yeah, you should be happy, right? I'm like, no, I mean, it's kind of same old. But I mean, yeah, just nothing too much to get excited about. Atlanta, moving into Atlanta. I don't know how to feel about your boys just yet, because I thought you guys were going to actually do what Orlando did and climb the standings almost in that way in the last like 30 to 40% of the season. It hasn't worked out that way.
We've had the toughest run in. I mean, yeah, the last 3 matches are some of the toughest teams in the conference. So yeah, it was never going to be the easiest ride into the playoffs. And we just beat up on some bad teams along the way in Inter Miami and Montreal. So
Seattle
I think I guess technically I mean, I think we'll take that as a scalp. Like it was I think winning on the road.
Are they comparable to Dallas on the East?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Ish. I think it's this. I don't know if we make the conference finals. Yeah, it's like or the conference semifinals rather. But because I think it's this. Like, we're gonna have to play either Philadelphia or Columbus. If we get New England, if they sneak in to 4th, okay, I like our chances. But we also have to play FC Cincy, so it's probably firmly that we're in 6th or 7th. In which case, if we play Orlando City, I feel a lot more confident.
I think you guys can beat Philly. I think you guys can beat Philly.
I think you guys can beat Philly too. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, Dallas just played a hell of a game against them. We were lucky to, unlucky to draw. I think they against the run of play, they got their goal, and Velasco equalized with the banger, and then we kind of just couldn't find the net to close it out. But I think if you guys were on your shit,
unlucky to draw too. That's the thing too. Like, we were unlucky to lose against them in Philly because that handball is just egregious, and game state really means everything. And that would have been our first goal of the match.
I think you guys can do it. I think personally, it's like fringe. It's like
whoa.
Yeah, I don't know about there. Yeah, it's somewhere between conference semifinals and round 1.
Give Almada and Yakamaka some fucking credit, okay? They're gonna find a way to catch fire in the playoffs. I don't know, man. I remember when I thought when we played Atlanta, we were lucky to walk out of there 2-2. Like I really did. I thought that we were lucky to just walk away from that game 2-2. And I think that
I did feel better about that game.
He's just like a prototype forward.
He's got a 10-inch long, man.
Oh man,
I don't know, man. Like I just think if you guys are on your game, I think you guys could take it to Philadelphia and even Columbus. Cincy, to me, again, I rate them higher than you guys do. So I think it's a different story, but I don't know, man.
Right.
I
think it's telling how we actually play against FC Cincy if FC Cincy actually plays their strongest lineup. In which case, I mean, they have a bye pretty much weeks. So why wouldn't they essentially? So it'll be a pretty good kind of barometer of our might. And I think that's the highest. That's truly the highest.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see how the rest of the East pans out in our list here. Sporting Kansas City. Dude, this is the one team with an outside shot of catching either Dallas or San Jose. I don't see Minnesota doing it, but this is the one team with an outside shot. I still don't think they do. So you really think it's eliminated? Just straight up?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I mean,
I don't know. Pulido, since he came back from injury, has been playing very, very well.
Yeah, shout out to the Sounders for helping him get his first goal and getting.
Who's their final game?
Let me look it up.
Let's see,
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure
Minnesota. So
so they're basically battling
that's
it out for that
tough.
last spot. If they draw,
It
it's over.
is.
They have to get a win.
Right.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
I'm rating a Pookie party over a Polito poo poo party.
Yeah,
They just beat Real Salt Lake.
Close.
Granted, there was that red card, right? But
yeah.
They
They
almost
just
threw
beat
that
Salt
game
Lake.
away. That was the
they
funny
almost did
part.
3-2.
By the way, since coming back from injury, how many goals does Pulido have now?
I think 17,
yeah,
16. I like Pookie
So-
more.
Yeah, I mean it's tough for them. I think I don't.
Pookie
I think they're on the
Reynoso.
fringe.
Oh my god, they're like the
They're on the
Yaku
fringe.
Marcus and Almada of Atlanta. I like those kind of combos, man. It's what makes me still love MLS so much. Those are like those combos I like a lot.
Those different profiles that combine together. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I
He's
agree.
He's at 14 since coming back from injury, so that's
Holy shit, man.
Dude, you guys should call him back up to the Mexican national team.
he should, but
Yeah,
I think
Wait,
they can
actually,
sneak in.
I was being
mean,
sarcastic.
no.
like
he
we can
legit
move them
should.
down,
Fine,
but I
no.
think they can sneak in. Yeah.
yeah. I think they could sneak in too, right? Especially if
Yeah.
like San Jose in their last game they have Austin, which I don't know
Yeah.
what Austin would try to play for. Like maybe some kind of
Dude, they
Right.
might throw
Parties.
they might throw Hernan on the field at this point.
Yeah, dude, they're it's kind of crazy how in shambles that fan base is. They're like questioning whether Driussi should still be the captain for next year. And
Why?
a bunch of
What?
other shit. I saw some wild posts last night. I was like, dude, I can't believe how
I kinda wish I
reactionary
was
their fans are.
there.
Yeah,
Just an
it's-
overreaction to being eliminated. I mean, it happens.
Seriously.
Yeah, it
I mean,
happens,
it's
it happens.
year 2. Oh my god.
That's actually
Yeah.
year 3, but yeah.
or
Yeah.
year 3.
Yeah, but
So
still, I mean,
it's-
like it's there's so much growth you have to go through, growing pains you have to go through before you can
yeah.
really be that.
I think what
reactionary.
didn't help was that they almost made an MLS Cup final last year. I think that's a big
They just
thing.
overperform. People don't realize that. That's what playoffs introduces, right? It introduces the opportunity for a team to just overperform and go on a run that
Because you
makes
don't have
feel
because you
encouraged.
don't have to be the best team to win MLS Cup. Hey,
No.
Seattle did that. Yeah, like we weren't
Mhm.
the
They-
best team, and we
you guys
won.
are pretty good when you won MLS Cup.
In 2016.
Yeah, you're pretty good. Like you were,
No.
dude. You weren't like
But
Austin
you
FC
guys
last
went on
season.
those.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I no, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying we like on paper we weren't the better team. Like against like against when we played SKC, they were really good that year. When we played
SKC was good that year.
yeah, and like when we played Toronto in the MLS Cup final, like come on guys, like that was kind of bullshit.
It's
I can
fair.
agree.
I just
I'll
think
take
that
it. I
This
think it's dope.
franchise playoff system just offers opportunity for like a hard reset and just like any stupid shenanigans to happen that allows a team to just naturally progress round over round. So Sporting could do it. Like they could.
Mhm.
San Jose could botch the game against Austin. They could knock
Mhm.
Minnesota out by just beating them, and Dallas just wins their 2 games. They could get the 9th spot. They could. I mean, they need some help, but they really could do it. And I think
don't think so.
I feel like we gave Red Bulls more credit than we're giving Sporting Kansas City right now.
Yes, because Red Bulls are Red Bulls. You know, that's life.
What?
Mhm.
That makes no sense. Like, what kind of argument is that? What logic
There's
is that?
death. There's death taxes,
Okay,
and the
bro.
Red Bulls always making the wild card match. Come on, man.
So you think? Okay, so put it this way then: if we move them down here, we're virtually saying the Quakes make it above them.
Yeah, dude, Quakes are good.
All right, I'll keep them there. John, you cool with that?
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
All right.
Yeah, see,
I'm
Minnesota
iffy on that.
United.
wild card,
No way.
Pookie
Nah,
party in the
no way.
playoffs.
No
way.
way. If Sporting
Rookie
Kansas City's not
party.
making it, neither is fucking Minnesota United. I think they just started the
party.
season too late. Pookie came in too late for them.
And then Reynoso, obviously,
The whole
that is-
situation. Yeah.
his tings.
It is what it is, man. But
And the
I mean,
manager's
yeah,
gone. Yeah.
they were better
I
last
think
year.
next season Minnesota could be.
Yeah, a low key threat.
No, they could be a threat, not low key threat. They'll be a
Low
threat.
key, because dude, you see how many times they've been scored on this season? It's kind of wild. Like they leak goals like crazy. They got to correct some stuff in the back, but moving forward, their ability to just turn it on and make any game super competitive. Yeah, I agree. But I say low key because even last year when Reynoso was in crazy form, like I don't know. To me, that playoff game against Dallas was very lukewarm from their perspective. Reynoso was doing everything though. Like he didn't really get any help from his forwards, and they lost at PKs. Just kind of fizzled out. So I don't know. Maybe you guys like them more than I do, but
I like him a lot. I'm a Pookie party kind of guy.
well, he pookied that party. They're probably going to end up, eliminated from playoff contention. So it is what it is. All right, Montreal.
Wild card. Wait, no, round one, baby.
Yeah.
You think they win the
Red
wild
Bull.
card against
Yeah,
the Red Bulls?
1000%. It's the Red Bulls, baby.
You just
Yeah.
stop saying
don't know,
shit like
that's-
that. You act like it's just a
yeah,
given.
I don't know. Montreal did turn it around towards the end of the season. You know,
Dude,
they haven't
Montreal
been
look-
They're like the
really
worst
good.
defensive team in the league.
Dude,
Yeah,
you don't
but
need
they-
good
but they've turned it
defense.
around.
Minus Toronto, right? But like they're so bad defensively. Of all playoff teams, they're pretty.
You don't
bad.
need good defense to make it to the round one.
Said nobody ever. You know that the saying is
Right.
like defense wins championships, right?
Yeah, wins.
Exactly.
I
I
didn't
think-
say wins championships. I said makes it to round one.
Round
You
one.
guys got-
Nah. I think Red Bulls beat CF Montreal.
No, dude, AJ,
that's
it's the
the
here
Red-
we
man.
go,
It is,
here we
it
go.
is, dude.
AJ, it's the Red
Yo.
Bulls.
I know, but that's the thing. They have gotten semi-deep sometimes, and
When?
CF Montreal,
When?
I
When was
mean-
the last time Red Bulls made a deep run? I want the
they
fact.
made a deep run when they won Supporter Shield. So you know,
That was like in 2000 and what? 15?
18.
18.
Okay.
Look, man,
Yeah.
I think like okay, look, the goal differential between that, granted, we're starting over the fresh season, right, in playoffs, but like minus 15 for Montreal versus
Yeah,
minus 4
They're
for
just
the
not
Red
good
Bulls.
enough
Like
defensively. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Red
they-
Bulls.
it's gonna be who scores more. Now the Red Bulls haven't scored a ton, although I would say like who they beat like 5-2 or some shit recently. I don't know where they turned it on a little bit, but
5-3
this game could
DC
just
United.
go to PKs. This game could just go to PKs. In
And
all
I
seriousness.
would
Right.
rate the Frenchies to do it.
All right, John, how do you
I
feel
think
about this?
in regular time, it's Red Bulls.
I just feel like I don't know. I feel like the momentum is going towards Montreal because they've just been playing better. So
If they play
Could be
each
one of those
other,
things.
it's in Montreal. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
dude,
home
in
game.
Quebec. Oui.
I would tip Montreal.
Yeah,
Okay.
see?
I would tip Montreal.
And dude,
All
it's
right.
the Red Bulls, guys. Come on, like they're a round one type of team. I mean,
Not
sorry,
always,
wild
though.
card.
I'm about to
only
say,
type
yeah,
of
we just
team.
put them in wild card.
All right, I'm in wild card. I'm getting the things mixed up a little.
Yeah, the new playoff format it throws everybody off. I think I don't know. I kind of want to give them more credit, but who knows? Maybe Montreal finds a way. For right now, I'm okay.
Dude,
with leaving this
Montreal
game.
always low key whenever they make the playoffs. They always a sleeper team. Like they
Name
always
one
do,
season. Name one season where that's been
what
the
was
case.
when they had that crazy playoff match against Toronto where they almost made MLS Cup final. I want to say that was 2016.
That feels like forever ago. Well, 7 years.
Well,
yeah.
they haven't been in the playoffs that often.
Yeah,
I don't remember
mean,
all of them, but I don't know. I think they always, I like how Montreal's playing right now.
I
rate
think
the
I think home
Montreal
field
leans.
advantage gives them a massive leg up because the difference between home and away for them is huge, right? They have 2 wins on the road all season long. So maybe if this was flipped, I'd probably be on AJ's side here. I'd give the nod to the Red Bulls, but I'll stick with what you guys have. I think Montreal being the home team, slightly higher. I think they will concede goals, and I could easily see this going to penalties, 100%.
That's fine.
But we'll see. And in the round one in a best of 3, I think any team above them in the East beats them, 100%.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And speaking of which, the team directly above them in the standings currently, Nashville. We've rated Nashville on this show before as a team that is solely built around Hani Mukhtar.
And it's still the same case.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that they can ride that? We talked about Dallas, right? And putting them in conference semifinals as a team built around one offensive player who can maybe squeak by result after result. Can't Nashville do that?
Nope.
Why?
I think they can make semifinals, but
Yeah, that's it.
Go
I
on,
agree.
Troy.
Conference
that's it.
semifinals. Bingo.
Where would you rate
I
them
wouldn't
then?
disagree.
Maybe slightly above Atlanta.
probably I would say, yeah, they're defensively a much better team,
Yeah.
and that's just going to be a lot more difficult to contend with in the playoffs. But we also have to do some math here because yeah, like that's 4 teams.
2 plus 2
from the
is
East.
4 minus 1. That's
Yeah, that
So-
is. Yeah, that right here is already very problematic. I think we have to move some shit around. So,
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's our show. We can do what we want.
So people are watching like, hey, that shit doesn't make sense. There's
Shit don't make sense.
There's quite a few East teams up there.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
East is superior.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, it is,
How
but yeah.
crazy would it be though if a team from the West ends up winning it all? I would laugh my ass off, considering that like
Who would it
East-
be? Only
probably
team I
would.
could see is
LAFC.
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 Yeah, well, yeah.
It
Yeah,
could easily be
probably.
LAFC.
Mwanga.
Mwanga's feeling it at the best time of the year to jump
Dude.
into good form. Like the
Mwanga's
guy is
such
just
a nutty
fucking tearing it
player,
up.
bro.
Just don't count on Vela. He probably won't show up. But that's
No, Duvella's just a
typical.
one season wonder.
Yeah, I still think
That's crazy.
Bawanga is slightly overrated. I think like to me, it's like I always go back to like the basketball equivalent. It's like, when Kobe was putting up 50, 60 point games for the Lakers, it's like, well, yeah, you take that many shots over your teammates. I mean, yeah, you're that skilled, right? You're gonna score enough. But there's so many opportunities where Bawanga just like he chooses to be Cristiano, right? Instead of being like someone who could facilitate moves and goal opportunities for teammates of his. I think, yeah, right. I think back to like that. And did you guys see that? I can't remember who they were playing, but that wildly, it might have been Tigres in the Campeones Cup, where that wildly open pass to Vela was there heading into the 18. And he just chose to take it himself. I don't know. To me, it sums up Bawanga in a nutshell. It's like he's always going to look, call his number first, and then he'll figure out where his teammates are later.
Dude, it's just that it's just the Aubameyang thing, those guys from Gabon just,
Oh my god,
This guy from Gabon.
he's just stereotyping. Okay, fine. All right, we'll call it that. With Nashville though, you don't think Connie can just figure it out? Maybe put his team on his back and get to the Eastern Conference Finals?
No.
Who's better? Well, I was gonna say Columbus or Nashville, but it's definitely Columbus. Maybe Philly. Yeah, this is probably the right spot. It's just there's too many good defensive teams at the top of the East. That's the only thing. It's so hard to beat those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Yeah, this is probably the right spot. Ahead of Atlanta's kind of high for me. I probably would have been inclined to put him here.
Yeah, but I mean, it depends on who they play, and I think if they're playing Orlando City as it stands, Orlando City, I don't know if they beat Nashville.
Like when you compare the schlong length of Mukhtar to
Oh my
Giakoumakis.
god!
Oh my God.
Stop! Why are we doing this? Okay, we're moving on. I'm past this. All right. The Revs. Amidst all of the drama that happened this season with them,
Round Juan.
I think round one.
Yeah,
I think round
crazy,
one
bro.
based on the fact of what they've gone through.
Everyone wants to play them. Like,
yeah,
everyone in the East
they were
wants to play 'em.
so good prior to that Bruce Arena shit, and now like
That's just typical Bruce Arena, man. He ruins everything that's good.
he's literally like royalty when it comes to MLS and the U.S. men's national team.
Well, he ruined both of them, so
yeah, he does. He's like Jose Mourinho. It's a couple years, it's really great, and then it's like,
it ends on a really bad note.
Yeah.
Can we not say the same thing for Tata Martino?
Nah,
True,
dude, Tata's
true.
goaded.
Yeah, look at Joe.
No.
It depends on who
Come
you
on.
ask.
Him
Right?
and Goat-
Exactly.
Him and Goat
Yeah,
should
right.
not go in the same sentence ever.
So hold on.
You know?
I think it's this. Not every place that he's been at, he's like ruined the ship. Like he's definitely ruined the ship at some places.
You could say
but-
he didn't leave it the way that he.
Yeah,
Okay,
Argentina,
let's just go down the list.
Barcelona,
you know?
yes, Mexico,
Hey, at
yes.
least it was
Yes.
AJ's team that he kept him in decent place.
Exactly. Atlanta United.
One team out of
Arguably.
the multiple.
It's not fair. You guys were an
multiple
expansion.
examples.
It was gonna be a step up, right? Because you were new, getting MLS Cup. But then,
Right.
when he got when he left,
Yeah.
would
He
you
didn't
say
ruin
that
it.
like
It was Frank
yeah.
de Boer that pretty much started the
Good old
ship,
dude.
and
That's a
then
throwback. Oh my
Yeah.
Carlos Bocanegra absolutely shit in the Fruit Loops. So
Okay, well, I mean that's fair. That's fair. Okay, we'll Atlanta, Nashville. If they play each other, we feel confident because of defensive woes that Atlanta may or may not have, depending on the game. That Nashville just finished ahead.
No, I'm going all in. I think Atlanta would beat Nashville.
I don't know if we would, but
No, you would.
Because the things here is like, okay, it would probably be FC Cincy that beats one of us. So it's probably, I mean, the lower seeded one, Nashville, and then Columbus probably is the team that beats us if we're going by what this is.
Okay,
So
then that's
I don't
fair
think we
then,
play
I
each
agree.
other.
So MLS is just Team Ohio. Okay, got it. All right. Well, I actually agree with Xiaoyan. I actually think Atlanta, to me, on a one-off game, whatever the case may be in playoffs, or even in a best of three, could do what it takes to beat a Nashville team that's solely built around Mukhtar.
Dude, Yakumakis, man. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep it like this. I actually think Atlanta is the top team so far in this part of the bracket.
I have a proposal for you, AJ.
Mm.
I could give you Rui Diaz, Eber, and Morris for Yakumakis. Technically, all three of them combined have scored more goals than him.
Hell no.
No.
I mean, I'll give you Hosetu.
I don't know who that is.
I know, right? Yeah, exactly. That's the point. But,
I think to me the goal that Yakumakis scored against Dallas to tie it up 2-2 is like just what he offers to that offense and what makes him scary in the playoffs. It's just like in any one moment you could cross a fucking ball in and he just out of nowhere wins the ball over two center backs by himself and just nails it right in.
When I had AJ on for my preview on my channel when Atlanta played the Sounders, I was talking about Yakumak. He's like, yeah, he's kind of dried up on goal. Dude, I was like, bro, come on, man. It's Yakumak. And then he dunks. It's so funny when we were playing that game, when he scored 2 goals, I texted AJ saying, I told you.
Yeah.
I know it was kind of like, I know it was against
reverse juju a little bit.
Yeah, it was.
I'm not gonna like, oh man, we're gonna fucking destroy you. It's like, yeah.
I mean, you guys kind of did though.
And I'll take it every single time. But
I think conference semifinals make sense. I like this order right here. To me, it's accurate. NYC, let's make this quick.
Eliminated.
Yeah. Eliminated.
Bye.
I put Sporting ahead of them, and they're above Minnesota United for me. Orlando. This was
you gotta say it like this though. Orlando.
Why?
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's how Joseph Martinez said it.
Oh god.
When he's laughing at him eating whatever the fuck he was eating. Yeah.
It's like a meme. Jose, you got to look up that meme of Joseph Martinez.
Yeah. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it, but I was like,
every time we beat Orlando. Every time we beat Orlando, we post it. So yeah.
Orlando. Okay.
Yeah, he's just watching it. He's just sitting at home and then he pans it. He's like, Orlando. And he's just laughing. He's like,
all right. Well, do we feel like they're easily up here, or like where we put them?
No, it's round 1.
No.
I mean, that's what it is.
What?
They don't got Schlegel as their goalkeeper. They ain't going far, man.
What?
Like they're playing Nashville, so that's the thing. Like I
round
think Nashville
1.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't believe in. I mean, yes, I'm biased, but I don't believe in Orlando.
Bring in Orlando Fan TV.
Yeah, but you're asking a rival. That's like me asking if, like,
I know, but
do I believe
it's
in Houston making it or Austin making it? Like,
sure, right. No, but like honestly, from an objective standpoint, it's like in the playoffs, historically, what have they done? Yes, this is the best version of Orlando City.
That's their history in the playoffs.
But this run of form that they're on, right? Since Leagues Cup, they've climbed from like 6th to 2nd, and I don't know. I think recency bias to me is always undefeated, and I feel like how Pareja has them playing right now. I don't know. I could see them making a little bit of a deep run. I mean, Orlando.
It's Nashville. That's the tough part. Is like they're just so defensively stout. Like I don't think they break them down. I think they get cup teamed.
Whoa!
I want to do this. I want to do this.
Ooh,
I want to do that.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I just Orlando City's we're a really weird team because they're as good as they can be. They're also very inconsistent as well. Like 17
wins this season, boys.
This is the thing. Nashville is the best defensive team in MLS.
Yeah, no, 100%, right? But if they have to play. They have to play with a 3-game playoff, 2 of which are in Orlando. You still think Nashville wins?
Yep,
I think so. Yeah, yep. I mean, they're that quintessential cup team,
dude. Honestly, their stadium at home is not a fortress.
Orlando?
Yeah, Orlando.
It's really not.
That's probably true of both Florida teams before Messi got here.
No, it's still the same case with Messi being here.
Well, yeah, it's not a fortress, right? But they pack it out. There's a good amount of noise. I mean,
no, dude. Even Miami's Drive Pink Stadium, bro. That shit's like, that shit's like, yeah. No, I don't even want to say it. That's not a PG-13.
I don't know
because it has been.
Yeah, I mean, this is very harsh. This is very harsh for where they are.
It's harsh, but I think it's. I mean,
hey man. Tough love.
We can
all right, fine. Receipts. I'm going to come back to this. I think I think Orlando can make a pretty deep run. I wouldn't go as far as saying like conference finals, but I think that in a 3-game playoff, they could beat Nashville.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, they look really, really good, but they're just facing a very tough defensive side.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to argue that. And maybe it's a soft spot for Pareja. I do rate him highly as a coach. He was at Dallas once upon a time. I think he can get the best out of them in the playoffs. We'll see. We'll keep them there for now, but this still bugs me. All right. Vancouver.
Round one
is 5th.
Round one.
Their goal differential is pretty damn good, actually, or compared to how they started. Round one is probably fair. There's a slight chance where they had point 47. Who do they have last? Could they go up? Could they move up at all?
Let's find out.
I'm pretty sure they can move over Houston.
LAFC.
Oh no, never mind.
They don't beat LAFC.
I was like, never mind.
That'll be tough.
That'll be tough. Okay, so they're probably going to stick where they are currently. Real Salt Lake might jump them, which will put them into 6th. And technically, if Dallas wins both their games, we could jump them, and they could move into 7th. So
and they would play LAFC in the playoffs, most likely.
Oh God, definitely round one then. Yeah.
So it's Sounders or LAFC. I mean, I think. Yeah.
This is probably accurate. This is probably accurate. I'd probably just rate them above Montreal just a little bit, but this is probably accurate. Okay, we'll move on. That one's very straightforward. Home stretch here, guys. Philly, great fucking team.
This is gonna be tough.
Can we go controversial and say round one?
No.
I mean, one of these teams got to go, and
yeah,
someone has to make the run, Xiaoyan. It can't be every team just botches it in the first part of playoffs. Like there has to be some guys that finish towards the top of the table that are skilled and experienced enough to make
Columbus.
Wait, but what doesn't that mathematically not make sense though? Because you
exactly. So
2.
Honestly, I'm taking LA United into round one. Then I mean, I love my club. I know, but it's just
Yakumakis.
Yeah. So then we got to put. I rate Cincy over Philly. I will fight you guys on that. I rate Cincy over Philly. I think that they'll.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't think anyone disagrees with that.
Yeah, I was about to say, bro. Like we're gonna throw hands on this point alone. But I think like this is accurate then. This is probably where they finish.
Well, now that we put Atlanta down, now it's accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, this feels kind of wrong. But like,
feels okay. It'll happen. One of these teams will be right. I mean, hey, if we keep putting out these shouts, one of them's got to be right.
One of them's got to be right. Yeah, we got to be right at some point down the road. All right, you know what? That's fine. I think Philly, look, they've been top 3 basically all season long. Now we all saw last season, right? I mean, I actually predicted Philly to beat LAFC. I thought they were the more fundamentally sound team, but they kind of botched it a little bit in the final.
They're chokers, unfortunately. So
yeah, it's just I don't know. It's almost their brand. I think Cincy and Columbus are better than this team, 100%. Even though I think Andre Blake is playing really well. I think their midfield is looking pretty damn solid. But I'll be honest, man, when Dallas played them, we looked pretty damn good, which bodes well for teams in the East. Okay, moving on. The Timbers.
Conference semifinals.
Portland's been weird this year.
Really?
Conference semifinals.
That's a massive shout. That's a
Conference
massive
semifinals.
Shout. This is your biggest rival.
Conference semifinals.
Of the teams in the playoffs, they have the worst goal differential. Like I don't see how.
That's all under Gio Savarese. They're in a new era now. They got Santiago Moreno. They got Evander. They got all their boys firing on all cylinders. Granted, they did lose the last game against Montreal. That's just that French effect. But I think they're.
It depends on where they land too. So
if they play Seattle first round, easy dub.
There is a possibility.
No, there's no easy dub. Guys, the history is against us. If we play Portland, we're fucked. I'm just not even going to bother. We've never beaten them in the playoffs. We haven't beaten them in, 2 years? Haven't beaten them at home in 5 years. 6 years? Like, we don't beat Portland.
But they're the second worst defense in the West. I kind of agree with AJ. I just don't think that, that says something, right? If your ability to keep the ball out of the back of the net is massive in playoffs, you can ride that. You can ride that to penalty shootouts time and time again. If you can't keep the ball out of the net, you're putting so much pressure on your offense to consistently get goals against good teams. I just don't know if it's that straightforward.
All right.
I mean, and
I'm just gonna
depending
go
on
with that.
what FC Dallas does too, they could be in the nice spot. I mean, and that's I don't know. I don't think that bodes well for them.
Yeah, they could,
So-
and depending on how, Dallas wins. If we get 6 points from the last 2 games, which is very, very possible. We're playing 13th and 14th place Rapids and Galaxy. I think that with nothing to play
Yeah.
for, right? They're already eliminated. We could just walk in, get those 6 points, and Portland could drop to the wild card where they would play the Quakes, right? And do you think in a 1-game playoff on the road in San Jose they win?
Portland?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, easy.
And there's nothing easy about winning a game in playoff shot. Yeah, it's always hard, bro.
No,
I think
but
it's
you're
always
asking.
it's because of the history of the Quakes, so that's what I think he's putting stock into.
Okay, so round
Yeah,
one.
I think it's round 1. Yeah, I think it's round 1. I mean, it depends on. Yeah, I mean,
Put it higher than the Revs. I think that's a good spot.
Okay.
yeah.
Dude, Portland just are that sneaky team. They always do some shit in the playoffs, and then they kind of surprise everybody. They kind of do it every. I'm not
Normally-
saying they're gonna.
Normally,
Oh,
yes,
sorry.
man, but like when their goal differentials in the double digits, when they've
doesn't-
conceded
but that's-
almost 60 goals this
That's
season,
under
it's just
Gio
tough.
though. New times, new era.
They haven't picked it up dramatically since Gio was fired.
Oh, they've picked it up a bit.
A bit, yeah. They're scoring more goals, but they're still conceding. That's just my thing. Is like if you have to keep pace with a team goal for goal, are you really banking on the Timbers?
Yeah, Evander, baby.
Over San
Evander.
Jose, yes, but I think if you have to start going in and trying to play against a team who doesn't concede goals like FC Dallas,
They're gonna
I
get
don't
found
know.
out quick.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think it's difficult, right? So I don't know. I'm okay with this. To me, this is a fair shout, 100%. I think you can keep them here. They're not better than Orlando. They're not better than Atlanta, even if it is cross conference. Maybe Vancouver when it's all said and done, right? But that's probably it. So Real Salt Lake. I want to hear what you guys think about this because they're better with Chicho for sure. Like better with Arango. Like they look better since he's been signed, but they still have these weird spells, these weird spirals where they lose. Like Dallas coming in, we haven't had very many games where we scored 3 in a game, and we walked into Salt Lake in a higher altitude and got a 3-1 victory. They've had a couple of those just weird stinker games this season, but they're top 4 or top 5. Sorry. Where do you rate Real Salt Lake?
Conference semis.
So they're the team, you think?
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, they have a really easy run in. So I mean, yeah. They get into that maybe 5th spot. In which case,
Yeah. Are they better than Dallas?
Yes.
We beat them twice this season. 2-1 and 3-1.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Is that your argument for trying to sneak Dallas over them, or?
It's a good question, right? Because Dallas to me is like we've drawn so many matches this year. I don't really know what the ceiling is for this team, but I know defensively we don't concede that many games. We've lost 1 in the last 12. So like we don't concede that many goals. Real Salt Lake, when we played them, it's always a fucking grind of a game physically. The offensive bouts as well, but we still find a way. You know, even if it's some bullshit like in the home game, or Brian Vera just got caught napping on that goal that we went ahead. I don't know. I like overall, I think Real Salt Lake is a more cohesive team. But if you put those two head to head, I don't think it's straightforward. I think Dallas could walk away with a 3rd victory against them this year.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
And they
matter.
also have a possibility to actually get higher into the into a home playoffs advantage position.
Yeah,
because I mean, depending on what Seattle does, depending on what Houston Dynamo does.
Who does Salt Lake have to close season now?
Yeah, they have a
Galaxy
pretty reason.
in Colorado.
As easy as it gets. Like that's
not only that, but they also did beat LAFC.
So, yeah, they could end up being 3rd or 4th.
They had the exact same teams that Dallas has to close out the season. Yeah, that's tough. So yeah, we honestly could both get the exact same points, and then they end up in 6th, we end up in 7th or 5th and 6th, whatever that duo is.
But Yeah, on paper, if you guys have beat them twice, then I mean,
That's
you
fine. I mean,
guys
this is
should be
very
ahead of them,
marginal.
but-
This doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to
All
put
right.
Dallas in front, it don't matter. to me.
Yeah. All right. Moving on.
He's
No
got
argument
to
for
feel
him.
good about himself for a little bit.
That's all I needed to hear. All right, moving on. Okay, Sounders, and
Round one.
Maybe we should put the new logo up here, bro.
Okay.
It kind of looks better than the old one, in my opinion. All right, so
Round one. Round
one. Who would you
That's
guys
what
see as a third place team in the West? Who would you see in round one?
I mean, it's a possibility.
Portland.
Quite a few teams, but yeah.
Portland. You think you lose
Right
to Portland
now,
in a 3-game playoff?
Dude, yes. Dude, we haven't. I've just explained my point. We've never.
I can see 3 consecutive penalty kick shootouts with that tie.
No, not 3 consecutive.
I honestly, bro.
But
that
wait,
close,
hold on.
It's tough, but yeah.
We don't. I don't think that'd be the matchup. It'd be 3 and 6. So as of right now, it's RSL. But
Yeah.
Yeah, and I still
they
don't see
might
us beating
bump up.
RSL because we didn't beat. We got clapped by them in Leagues Cup.
Yeah.
How many
So,
draws
I
do you
mean-
guys have this year?
So many.
A
We almost
lot.
have as many wins as
11.
ties as losses.
Yeah, you basically are just right there with Dallas too, like the 11 draws to Dallas's 12. So I mean, yeah, it's like one of those things where it's so 50-50. It's hard to predict.
I asked fans after the Vancouver game, and most of them are kind of in the consensus of. I think most of us can see a round one exit because if we get Portland or Salt Lake, we've already admitted defeat.
I don't know, admitted defeat. I mean, you still go in there, fucking guns blazing. But I still, yeah, I mean, over a 3-game series, I could see Portland winning. But I can equally also see the Sounders winning. I mean, I don't see you guys going past that. I think it gets very, very difficult after that because you guys
It's
just
a
don't-
50-50 between you guys.
If we play Portland, we're fucked. We've played them in the playoffs in 2013, 2018, lost both of those. We haven't beaten them in the regular season since 2021. We haven't beaten them at home in MLS since 2017. I don't know how you guys can think we would beat them in a 3-game series. I don't
Maybe
understand.
it's I just associate maybe it's brand name recognition, right? I just associate Sounders as a brand with doing something in the playoffs, not just making it and kind of calling it one and done. Right?
Our only hope is maybe San Jose, but I'm still 50-50 on that one.
Yeah, it's just and the experience of your team. You have some young guys playing. Don't get me wrong. I've seen some of the especially in the back. You definitely have some young guys playing, but you still have some tried and true veteran leaders, even
Like
despite the
who?
ones who are injured. Dude, Nico's gonna play, right? He's been there. He's done it. I mean, look,
know,
you don't
but
rate Morris, but he's also been there. He's done it. I do rate. We talked about experience earlier in this episode. I rate that in the playoffs, and it's a hard chance to reset.
The last time the Seattle Sounders won a match in the MLS Cup Playoffs was back in 2020.
COVID's a different beast, bro. Look, I'm just gonna say that I'll give them a fair shout. Look, we're not putting them higher than round one. They're still down here, right? It's just,
Oh yeah, no, it's perfect.
I'm giving Sounders fans the benefit of the doubt a little bit. That's all. That's all. I'm saying.
I think most of us want the season to be over.
To enjoy all that new merch you guys are gonna get, bro. I actually do rate the logo. I'm not even trolling. I do rate the logo. I think it looks good. I think it pays homage to the history of that club, and this to me, it's what we've known for 12, 13 years. But I'm okay with moving on from this. All right, Quakes. I'm just gonna do this for us right there. Right. They don't move farther than wildcard.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're round one. They're not gonna do anything too spectacular.
It's just I think the game against actually no, it's not even just the game against Dallas. There's been some recent games where the script plays out the same way. They come out the gates hot, 30 minutes of just high
Jeremy
press.
Abubasi scores.
Yeah, and then you got some. Let's say they have something going offensively, and out of nowhere, right before halftime, they kind of slow the tempo down, and that slowing down of the tempo carries into the second half, and they just look stale, like lukewarm. They don't look like a massive threat. So, and that's when I think teams just take advantage of them. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a Lucho thing as the coach, but I think I don't know, man. It's hard to bank on them going above the wild card round. Anybody disagree?
No, not at all.
No.
All right. These three are some of the juiciest ones to close this episode out on because I think all three are relatively in pretty damn good form. You have, let's start with the reigning U.S. Open Cup winner, right? The Houston Dynamo, who started the season only being able to score on penalty kicks. Now, those are the only goals for fucking almost double-digit games, right? They really couldn't get it going offensively. Ache, was trying to kind of, do everything as the playmaker over there. And now look at them, bro. Now look at them. as a Dallas fan, I'll give them their shout. Garaskia, Bassi, Baird, all these guys look like they're on this tear that you don't want to see in playoffs. Like they just won.
This is the formula that wins you MLS Cup. I'm not
It
saying they
does.
will, but I'm just saying this is the formula.
Yeah, and look, despite whatever their fans feel about the front office and them may or may not supporting during the regular season, I think they will show up in a big way during playoffs. At least I'm hoping so.
And for the fact they just won a trophy as well.
Yeah, dude, they have to. If they don't show up in a big way for playoffs, despite what they've just won and just how good a form their team is in right now, like, is this Houston team better than what we saw from Austin last season?
Oh, we got to play like.
I mean, arguably yes. I mean, because they have a championship pedigree now, but
I don't know. We have to do some Back to the Future stuff and pretend we're back last season.
Right.
Wait, let me ask you this: can this Houston team beat LAFC?
Yes.
Yeah, man. I think this team can make a fucking run, man. I'll be honest, I'll as a Dallas fan, I have no shame doing this, even as much shit as I've talked.
Yeah, it's weird.
Agreed.
But I think they're up there. I think they're up there.
Agreed.
It's so hard to bet against how many goals they're scoring right now. I feel like it's such free flowing offense. Quinones is like just this young revelation as a winger. I mean, I don't know, man. There's so much to like about this offense. I kind of wish that my own fucking team was this courageous with how they attack defenses. But yeah, man, I don't want to see Houston in playoffs. We just tied them, but it was coming off of the back of that U.S. Open Cup final where they were probably just tired, didn't have legs, and we just drew against them in Houston. But I don't want to see them again in playoffs. So are they better than Cincy?
I don't know about that. I don't know if they're better than Cincy.
Based off of form,
fucking good.
Based off of form, they technically are, but it depends on what kind of Cincinnati comes into the playoffs. Because it doesn't matter if you're the best team in MLS.
It's true. Go ahead.
Do you guys think that Cincy kind of coasted towards the end?
Yeah, that's what I'm a little worried about.
Yeah,
I'm a little worried about.
They need that momentum, and they don't.
I'm going to give Cincy the edge because of their more consistent track record, not just all season, but home and away. Houston away has been dog shit. They've had like 2 wins on the road. And at some point they're going to have to deal with that. So I think we probably keep it like this for now. This probably makes the most sense. Okay.
One of these teams has to, in the conference semifinals, has to go down in terms of,
yeah, I know. We're gonna have to shake some things up with this list, 100%.
Yep.
Okay, so St. Louis City.
They lose their first round. I don't think they're round 1.
But it won't be. Yeah, so it'd be semifinals.
Yeah, so semifinals. Yeah.
So it would be FC Dallas or RSL. So
bye FC Dallas.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we beat them 2-0 this year. And granted, they didn't have Klaus. And this is at the time when Berkey was complaining about how hot it was in the summer and how like it's crazy that MLS plays games at this time. I don't know if that impact. I mean, it was the Texas heat, bro. He was in Texas like 110 degrees. I mean, who knows? Maybe that gave us an advantage. But if we have to go to St. Louis and play in front of that crowd, I don't think we win. I think it's difficult. Salt Lake, I don't know. That's 50-50.
Yeah. Yeah, it just depends on who you guys are playing. So, yeah, I mean, since you guys are the lowest seeded, I would err that it's probably you guys in between, probably Timbers and Seattle Sounders, maybe.
Yeah, man, it's tough.
That's fair. That's fair. It's just tough because like a lot of these teams are very, very good, but matchups and everything is going to play into a factor in all this.
True. Yeah, 100%. And then finally, is this MLS Cup final?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so, man. It's I mean, to catch fire right before playoffs is every team's dream because you want to carry all that good form into playoffs. And LAFC are doing it, man. Especially Denny Bwanga, who I still will say is kind of overrated, but he is right now the top scorer in the league. Where is he at? 17?
I think 18, 19.
He was
19 now. Yeah. I think he doesn't slow down. I think it's they're going to continue to kind of just funnel things around him, feed him the ball wherever they can. Now, I will say this: if something happens to Bwanga in playoffs,
they're screwed.
What happens to LAFC?
They're done. They are done.
They're done entirely.
I don't think they're done entirely, but I don't think
done.
they make MLS Cup final.
They're done.
Right.
Vela would have to carry, and Vela would have to catch fire, and for that to happen, it's
you'd have
this
to
stage
be
in his career
to not have a 2-star week foot anymore.
Yeah, you're asking for too much.
It's just, yeah, I agree, it's tough, right? But like, do we not feel that if we're automatically sliding them to MLS Cup final, it's all Bouanga then? Are they not a sound
For
team?
the
These are the
most
defending
part.
champions.
I mean,
defending champions.
they're still a really, really good team. So I mean, in terms of the pieces that they have, it's still, yeah, like they'll maybe get into like the semifinals if that's the case. If Bouanga goes down,
Bouanga's got that light skin Riz,
That's a thing, huh? That's a thing. Okay. Well,
That's a thing.
hopefully it carries them all the way through playoffs if you're an LAFC fan. But I think this is fair. I still would switch these two, but I'm not going to fight you guys on it. I think if you think Columbus is going to go further than Cincinnati, I mean, they're both still pretty high up. And these are obviously the other two conference finalists. But how does the rest of this list shake out from here?
Well,
then?
we have to move one of St. Louis, Dallas, or Salt Lake, which by
Yeah,
default
right.
has to be Salt Lake or Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, we've beaten Real Salt Lake twice this season, but I still think
But
on
if you
their
don't play
day-
them, that's the thing. If you don't play them, then it doesn't matter. I mean, it's
yeah.
And I think that's the case. Is like you guys might not play them.
Yeah,
Flip it.
Jose, I'm sorry. It's time to.
Yep. It's in between Timbers and Sounders.
3v1. 3v1. Put him down.
All right. Let's be honest here. Okay. AJ, we tied. You can't say shit. With Orlando, and we beat
away. So I think the advantage goes to us. So
But I don't think any of the matchups in the East have anything to do with the playoffs right now.
Yeah, it doesn't.
not
I
playing
think
each
Dallas. I think Dallas is behind Portland in my eyes.
yeah, that's what I was
Based
saying.
on what?
Like, Timbers and Sounders.
There
you guys are
based on standings right now.
Well, okay, yeah, right now, but I'm saying they're playing the two last teams in the season. When the final standings shake out, which is what we're predicting, right? We're predicting what playoffs will look like. I think if they finish ahead of Portland, if they get 7th, Portland falls into the wild card. I think Portland could lose in the wild card.
No.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they lose to San Jose. You don't think they lose?
No, dude, it's San. Dude, he listened to us. John, did you see that? He was listening to himself. He's like,
Yeah.
San
Because,
Jose.
because we talked about it already, right? I just want to hear some logic. I get it. You don't really rate the Quakes that much. But if San Jose is hosting Portland, you don't think that they could win.
Portland's different gravy in the playoffs, man.
How much of
They
this
would
team has
have that
playoff experience?
Yeah.
How much does this Portland team has playoff experience?
Good bit, I would say. Yeah.
That's a good point, but they weren't in it last year, but they were in the year before that.
They have some old heads that know how to play
Blanco.
the reset.
Was
in
it
that
the year
system.
before that
Chara,
when they made the final? Right? Or am I
No,
wrong?
the time they made the final was
20.
It was against
It was
Atlanta
2018,
United.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
2019.
2018.
It was 2018. I don't know why I thought it was 19. Okay. Well, to me, it's not super relevant. I think we're shortchanging the shit out of San Jose because it's not one of the sexiest teams to watch in MLS. But I don't think you need that going into playoffs.
No, you don't. Yeah, I agree. I rate Timbers right now. I think they're firing on a good cylinder right now with Evander. Santiago Moreno's happy. He was close to leaving. He's in pretty good form.
I'm trying to see how we performed against the Timbers this season.
And one of the most classic playoff games was Dallas, Portland.
We tied and they beat us. So and they beat us.
No. Portland made the final against NYCFC, right?
What?
Yeah. Didn't they? Isn't that how?
Oh yeah,
NYC
you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
they hosted it. Yeah, sorry, they were in the final in 2021. Yeah. My bad. I like how we
Blacked out,
forgot
yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I was like, no.
Everything post COVID was kind of a dream, bro. For being honest.
Yeah.
But like I all right. It's somewhat recent. It's a couple years ago. They did just fire their coach, which I actually, I'm not saying I disagree with it, but it's tough to
It's
let
that new
someone
manager
go.
bounce, baby.
It is, it
Yeah,
is.
maybe they can ride some of that wave. We'll see. But I can easily see where Dallas finishes ahead of them just because of who they have to play going into the conference semifinals. But we'll leave it here. I still think we're. Yeah, I think that's fair.
This is a pretty good. I think this is a pretty fair, even. I think most of this will be pretty accurate.
Man, to me, the most interesting. I want to see kind of how it shakes out. I still think the Fire could get in first and foremost. I think the Fire can get in. Red Bulls might
I
fuck
think
this
you're
up. We have
begging.
no
I
idea.
don't. Based on what? I want to, from a
Okay.
biased standpoint, I want to see what you're seeing because
Okay.
I'm not seeing it.
So I think, let me go back to the East. So the standings and how they shake out now, right? DC's already eliminated. I think with the Red Bulls.
No.
Hold on. With the Red Bulls, who do they have going into the final game of the season? Nashville. They could lose that game, right? They could lose that game. I don't know if Nashville, how much they actually have to play for, but I don't think New York scores a ton. We talked about how good defensively Nashville was in this episode. I think that Nashville could get a result. Chicago ends up beating New York City FC, which, I'm not saying it's a long shot. It's a tough game, and I think everybody's going to be watching that matchup. But you guys could win. You could have the help that you need going against you because of who these teams have left to play. I could just see it. I could
who
see
does
where
Montreal play at the end? Montreal plays Columbus.
Yeah.
So
you could go to 8th. You could host a wild card playoff.
Yeah, we could, but that's the thing. Like, does it really matter? Like,
I mean, a packed out Soldier Field. You guys saw what it did, right? I mean, look again.
But
no one's
gonna.
It was against Miami, but
no one's going to be going to the wild card game. Let's keep it 100.
I mean, I would go, but that's just me. But
I mean, it just depends if there's like a Bears game, and
it would depend on where we would have to play it. Because if we play it at SeatGeek, then it's a completely different atmosphere.
Yeah, different atmosphere altogether. I mean, like it depends on a couple of things, but I still think a playoff game, you get a decent turnout. I don't know. I could see you guys, taking Montreal down when it really matters. And Chicago could be way ahead of where we had them in this list. So to me, that's interesting. And then Orlando and Atlanta.
It's the Chicago Fire, bro.
Listen, he's not wrong. It's the hope that kills you with this team. The hope that kills you with this team.
I know, man. Football is ruthless. But at the end of the
day,
I
think the biggest question right now is who wins the MLS Cup final. So
LAFC
Columbus.
LAFC could repeat.
I think, as much as it hurts to say it, I think Columbus will take
Columbus.
I think it's Columbus.
Let's end this episode that way. Predictions really quick. Yep. Who do you guys have? If this is the final, what's the score? Who wins?
Oh, 3-2 Columbus.
3-2 Columbus.
Damn, y'all were right at unison there. 3-2 Columbus. Holy shit. All right.
I would say if MLS Cup happened today, when Columbus face off against Los Angeles Football Club, also known as Chivas USA, I think that Columbus would win it 3-1.
3-1? You think Denny Bowanga and his scoring form, Columbus hold that to 1 goal?
I spread the wisdom of when Seattle once played against Columbus in Columbus in an MLS Cup final, and it wasn't fun.
Yeah, because it didn't have Denny Bowanga.
Yeah, but that atmosphere over there is crazy, though.
I understand that we don't have Danny Bowanga, but we had Nicholas Ladero, Jordan Morris, and Rui Diaz.
You just probably in their on all of those players. You were
every
one of those players.
Let me cook. In their last good season as Sounders.
Oh, okay. I missed that part. But
yeah,
even that, you just offered all 3 of them up as a trade for one Atlanta United player.
I didn't offer up Ladero. Okay, let's relax here. But we had all 3 of them at the peak of their powers, dude. Playing in Columbus in a playoff MLS Cup
final. It's tough. Yeah, I mean, especially the climate, just everything is.
What's that saying in Ohio?
Jake Paul?
No, something hell. It's
hell is real derby.
Yeah. For the derby, right? Like I forget, and I'll be honest, man. Nothing's really built like the Midwest in terms of fans. They're their own breed of fans, like if I can put it that way. So I don't know. Man, West Coast against the Midwest would be fucking unreal. I do think it's
and
I'll be the outlier. I think 3-2 LAFC.
You don't win it back to back. That's also another thing.
Yeah, that's the tough part. They might be the team, but
3-2 LAFC. I'll be the outlier here, and we'll use this receipts whenever the season's all set.
Oh my god! Watches were all complete. Watches were all wrong,
and neither of these teams make it.
Yeah, I know.
Because
and I'll put this out there. I'll say 3-2. Whether it's LA, actually any of the top 4, I could see a Houston Columbus or a Houston and Cincy, and I could see a LA Columbus or LA and Cincy. I think in either one of those scenarios, I'm gonna go super hot take. I think the West beats the East 3-2.
It's all fun and games until Toronto and Colorado Rapids make the final.
Yeah. Or the Dynamo do a double, and it's a Ben Olsen remontada.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
It'd be wild, dude. It'd be,
Yep.
man. And then Houston would finally have to fucking show support, man. Finally. Those fans
Right,
would have to
right.
turn out to Shell Energy Stadium to actually show out and support for their team the way you're supposed to.
Yeah,
But
because Jack, it's funny because we all, most of us know Jack from Deadball TV. He lives in Houston. I keep telling him go to Houston games, like they're a really fun team to watch. He's like, nah. I was like, why?
yeah.
Like, there's
He's an MLS hater though. Like he doesn't like MLS. He would rather watch Liga MX over MLS all day.
even though he's only half Mexican, that's the crazy part to me. my guy, dude. I look more Mexican
he
than he
also
does.
rates international and national team football more than club football.
What?
So yeah. He
That's
lives.
crazy.
He's
That's
a football
crazy, by the way.
hipster on multiple levels. So like, yeah, it's
Yeah, he probably thinks Graham Potter's like the second coming of Jesus.
he rates some guys and managers that are just very, very interesting. But I love Jack, man. I think he's got his own niche takes. But for this, man, I actually feel like we were really spot on with this fucking list. I think we were pretty biased in some of these picks for sure. Myself included with the Dallas pick. But I still think it's Houston or LAFC that wins it all. So we'll find out how it all
Houston
pans
or
out.
LAFC? What?
Yep, I think it's gonna be one of those two. We'll find out. It's not going to be an East, despite how dominant they were in MLS this season. We're gonna come back to this video. All right, boys, that was it. That was our predictions for the 2023 MLS playoffs. This video will go out soon. If you stuck around to this part of the video, thank you so much for tuning in. Like the video down below, subscribe to the channel. Let us know what you thought, man. I actually think that we shortchanged a lot of the teams in this list. I think Xiaoyan shitting on his Sounders the way he does always. It's going to come back to bite him in the ass at some point. I think Real Salt Lake could be a very interesting follow, and I do think Orlando and Atlanta. Watch out for those two teams in the East. They're scarier than we gave them credit for. All right, so from everybody here at Wake Up MLS, my name's Jose. That's John. That's Xiaoyan. That's AJ. We'll catch you guys next time.